Fermented foods are kind of controversial. Some say they're the best digestive tonic you could ever have. Other people say people only did that because they had no fridges, they live in Russia, they're just trying to preserve, they're just trying to survive. So as somebody who healed himself of ulcerative colitis, I have my opinions. Is it beneficial? We'll talk a little bit about it, and then I'll show you how I make it, which is probably different than you've seen, but it works. Oh, it works.
I love your colon, girl, it's my world. I will never make a sound.
There's literally spider webs on this. Oh boy, it's been a while since I've juiced. Oh boy. Spider webs are a good source of nutrients 6. Good source of that one. I'll just tell you straight up, I don't sterilize everything. Some people are paranoid about all bacteria and they boil the glass jars, then they boil their juicer like you're a moron. Bacteria in general, good times. No matter what, even raw chicken in Thailand. That's fun times. So I must say, I've experimented a lot with making my own sauerkraut, the nut yogurts, kefir, probiotic supplementation. Before, I didn't think it made much of a difference, but lately, now that I'm on this keto plan and things are calm, things are good down here. Real good. I noticed when I added in that coconut kefir and then the sauerkraut, things are much better. I think this helps so much that I'm willing to sacrifice and go through the whole process of making my own now because it's much cheaper. I was just buying this, $9.49 for that. Both of these, that'll make like 10 of these for less money. I just think bacteria do everything. They go in there, they make vitamins for you, they kill off things, bad pathogens, they do stuff with heavy metals possibly. Don't quote me on that one. Don't you dare quote me on that last one. They're just, imagine inundating yourself with all this friendly bacteria. They go throughout your whole body and just make things right. So just get lots in. I eat 1 meal a day and it's full of fermented foods. So I'll show you how I do this. Before we do, if you don't notice a benefit from fermented foods, it's probably because you're eating a bad diet. You can't just eat a diet full of sugar and think you're gonna add fermented foods to it. I used to get itchy from sauerkraut. I no longer do because I no longer have that overgrowth of yeast freaks in my body freaking out. I don't eat sugar, so all those like candida-like symptoms, those are gone. I maybe have like 7 raspberries once a week or something. That's my carb up day. So when you go on the keto plan, it's just it kills off all the bad stuff in your body. And then, in my opinion, fermented foods make a difference. Then it's like adding the good guys on top of already killing off the terrible ones. In my opinion, eating a high carb diet and you're all itchy and you have all these symptoms and then you add in probiotics, it's like sending a group of lawn bowling 90-year-olds to like battle an army of super soldiers, Roman giants from Greenland. And it's like they have their canes and they're throwing their underwear. They're not gonna do much. But if you kill off most of the army on a low carb keto diet, and there's just one giant left and he's kind of hurt, he has no weapons left, and you drug him with morphine, then the old men stand a chance. Let's just get onto the... There's many ways to make sauerkraut. Don't freak out about all the different opinions. You just need cabbage, salt, and you're done. And try not to expose it to air, which I have special things that accomplish that for me. Get organic if you can, because if you get a non-organic one, I don't know what kind of super freak bacteria are on that thing. Immune to all your desires. And don't listen to people, oh, save the leaves for after, then you stop. Those are freaks. They're freaks. We have new technology now. You don't need the leaves, your moldy leaves on top. So I like to cut it in fourths and then just get out that core. My fourths were inaccurate. That's not even close. Cut it in 1/8 or 18ths. And then get out that core. You can't digest that. You're not a rhinoceros. Once you've cored your cabbage, you have 2 options. You could just slice it if you like the texture. Like, this stuff is just very thinly sliced. I don't love it. I don't love it. I want to fully digest this stuff. I'm trying to get bacteria in me. So I'm gonna, it's not juiced. This kind of juicer, the Omega, whatever the hell it's called, I forget. It's been so long. There were spider webs on it, you saw it. I use the grinding like nut butter attachment. And so it just grinds it up to a fine pulp. So I'm just gonna cut it up small enough to fit in the juicer, and then we add that to the pot. not a pot. This tiny ass cutting board, fully regret. I fully regret it. It was one piece of maple. I was like, oh, what a nice cutting board. It's like 5 inches long. Oh, what a nightmare. It's the bane of my existence. You know what's hilarious? This is like a health and diet channel. I never cook on it. What do I do? What do I even talk about? I just talk about like the theory behind food. No one gives a shit. Okay, let's go. The bigger the bowl you have, the better. This is nowhere near a sauerkraut making bowl, but that's all I got. And when it comes to salt consumption, you add way more than you think you should. I add about a tablespoon per 2 cap. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I just know you add a lot of salt to a bowl and you're good to go. Just use a good salt. I use the Celtic sea salt. You don't want like refined Morton's. Some people do Himalayan. I prefer this, I think. Just go with your heart. And then you just add your sauerkraut. There really should be no liquid in here. I feel like this juicer ain't the best for this kind of situation. But get all that liquid in there and massage it together. So just stir this up, get the salt all mixed, which will help draw out the liquid. And you want to keep this submerged. That's the trick. Every good bacteria, they thrive underwater. Whereas if there's bad ones, they're up top, breathing air, like smokers, teenage smokers. So don't do it. Okay, that's 1 cabbage down. So we just got a bunch of cabbage, a boatload of it. Now what I do, I used to buy just regular probiotics from a store, open maybe 1 or 2 capsules in. I didn't feel like buying it, so I had some leftover sauerkraut juice. Wow. So I'm just gonna add that to it as a starter. So there's plenty of bacteria in here, and that's just gonna help kickstart things. You don't really have to do this. There's the bacteria in the cabbage already, but it just helps to kickstart it and make it go faster and make sure you get a head start with the war with the old men and the giants. More old men starting off. It's good. So now what you need are mason jars. These are big boys. I think they're 1.5, maybe 2 liters. That's the easiest way. So that plus the fermenting lids of life. These things, that's the key. They have a rubber nipple, and that lets oxygen escape, but inside, good things are happening. No, it's the carbon dioxide that escapes. And then the hockey puck of glass to keep the cabbage weighted down, submerged under the water, and then that's all you need. Boom. I am so envious of you people with large kitchens, that there's just so much counter space everywhere. You bowl here, nothing, everything goes on top of each other. There's nowhere to fit anything. Does this fit in here? No, it does not. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you just start loading it up. Yes, this is getting heavy in the one hand that's holding it for some reason. Why didn't I just put it down? It's and slippery too. That's good times. That's not gonna work anymore. Now ideally, you would have a stump. All I got is this little one, but you wanna pack it down to where like there's no air bubbles. You're trying to pack it densely and have water rise above it. And if there's not enough water, I just add a bit of water. Like you wanna keep it submerged and you don't pack it too high because it will grow on your ass. So what you're supposed to do, you just drop that puck and it's all submerged now. Oh, there's no water. So what I do is just clean this off of any excess fibers. That's interesting that 1 cabbage did at least this giant jar. I thought for sure, why did I buy 2 cabbages? So I'll have 2 of these jars and a little leftover. That's always how it is. So just some Tesla plate adjusted water. So this is what you want basically. That might even be too much water. I may live to regret that. That may be a bit much, but you gotta leave some space. That's probably not enough space. It might leak. It might leak hard, but that's fine. Don't worry about that. And so you just put this fermenting lid. I'll leave links down below if I can find them, but they're cheap. And that's it. You leave this in a cupboard now. Dark place. There's no room in there. So find a spot in a dark cupboard and leave this, I would say at least 2 weeks. Some people leave them for months. And then you can, once this is done, you put it in the fridge. You take this lid off and then you put on a, why? You just put on a regular one. I like the plastic ones because they don't, the metal, they oxidize. You don't want rust in your fermented food. So you take this off, put that on, and then you put that in the fridge, and then you're ready to eat it. Scoop out a couple tablespoons a day. You don't need much, like quarter cup of tea. A tea? Oh, I need more. But a quarter cup of that, and then a couple tablespoons of the coconut kefir. I might learn how to make that too. It just sounds like such a pain in the ass. But look how much I'm gonna get. This was $9.50. I'm gonna get, I'll show you the final result. I'm so neat and organized. So that's the final yield. Look at that. So this cost $8.70. Oh God, oh, that's gonna make it worse. This was on sale, I guess. The other bottle was $9.50, was it? So just say, we'll even it out at $9 for this. This costs $16. I'm trying to calculate how much. These are about 1,600 mils each, and this one has no labelings. So if we do a quick calculation, okay, there was nothing quick about that calculation. I got about 4,000 milliliters for 16 bucks. That ended up being about 250 mils per dollar. Whereas this one was like 83 mils per dollar. So 3 times as cost effective, although you did just spend an hour and a half. You could have made money during that hour, a lot more than $7. So don't do it. Don't do this. I gotta tell you, this ain't for the faint of heart, but I'm also fermenting chicken livers in my fridge, and it was so much easier. Just chop a couple, done. You don't have to go through juicing, adding salt, water levels. Is it too? Just put it in the fridge, air it out. It smells like, I wanna say burnt popcorn for some reason. It's bound to be beneficial. So there's that. So I'll leave these in a cupboard for about 2 weeks. I'll take one out at 2 weeks and see, and just let the others continue probably. And I don't have the fridge space for all this. What was I thinking? We'll make it work. So I highly recommend you do it. I almost forgot the most important step. Do not skip this step. You have to label it something magical. Oh, look at it. Super powered digestive tonic with a happy guy. It helps. You gotta put your intention in. Just wizard juice, name it something. You'll feel benefits as long as you get sugar out of your life, because I tell you, I used to not feel the benefits and get symptoms from the fermented foods because I was on a high carb diet. So I think, at least, that's my theory. I'm sticking with it. I'm gonna leave. Thanks for thumbing up the video. Thumbs down if you're fermenting fish. Oh, that could have been more dramatic. That would be gross. Even the chicken livers, they're doable. Anything else I've tried is nightmare status. Why am I bent like this? Is it the fermented food? I paused when I said that weird. I'm gonna leave. Thanks for watching and buying a Vegetable Police t-shirt. Subscribe for more videos. I'll see you in the next one.